It's like the embarrassing, shameful truth, but it's the reality, and I know a ton of influencers do it too. Like, some of them are on Ozempic, but a lot of them are just pounding the black coffee and the Diet Coke, and like, that is why they are the way they are. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and I run the blog called Mrs. Midwest. Today I am doing another highly requested topic, and that is a bit of information about my fitness journey post babies. So this is kind of like my post-baby glow-up video / almost 30 second time glow-up. Just all the information about my diet and fitness and kind of mindset that I've adopted since having my youngest son 3 years ago. So this has been a long process. This was not an overnight thing. It was not easy. And the last time I made a glow-up video like this, it was kind of like my post-college, post-marriage glow-up. And since then, I've had 2 children back to back. If you haven't watched my birth story video, I highly recommend, where you will learn the story of how I gave birth twice in 2021. Back-to-back pregnancies are no joke. Neither is almost turning 30 and all the stresses that come along with getting older and all of that. But I currently feel like I'm in like the best shape of my life as an adult. You know, I'm sure I was in better shape when I was an athlete in high school or whatever. But I feel really strong, I feel energetic, and I feel really pretty, even though I'm older than I used to be. I don't know if you guys have ever heard the term the wall. It's like this thing where once women turn 30, they lose their beauty and their vitality. And I kind of wanted to make this video to share with you guys that I, as an almost 30-year-old woman, don't feel like I'm losing vitality or beauty. I feel stronger than ever, and that's thanks to my diet, my fitness changes I've made in the past couple years, as well as some other details that I'll let you know about in this video. So thanks for tuning in. So this video has been requested a lot since I started vlogging more last year. You guys have been so sweet. You've been like, oh girl, you're in such good shape. What's your routine? And I've kind of sprinkled it into my videos here and there, like sharing about my running or my groceries, that kind of stuff. But I haven't made a full-on dedicated video, I think because, and maybe a lot of other like fitness junkies might understand this, you kind of always feel like you're not quite there. Like you can achieve more muscle or a lower body fat percentage or like a more sculpted face or whatever. And I think I just kept putting off the video because I was like, oh, I'm not in like the best shape. There's other girls out there who are moms and have had 5 kids and are in way better shape. Like I'm not the right person to talk about this. But I keep getting requests and I'm not gonna put the people off any longer. Just know that my mindset going into this isn't like I'm the strongest, most fit mama out there. Like I don't feel like an expert. I don't feel particularly in shape compared to other moms. I do feel much stronger than I used to be, and I feel like competing with myself in my own world. Yeah, I'm stronger, I'm more fit, but I don't really view myself as a fitness or a diet expert in the slightest. So please take this video with a grain of salt. Know that I am not a doctor, I am not an expert, and I am not even a personal trainer or a nutritionist. I'm just a human being who has figured out some stuff that has worked for me. So all of that being said, I also need to make a PSA. If you're not in a fitness kind of focus in your life, like this isn't a video to say you have to do these things. I really don't want you guys to compare yourselves to me. My life could be so different than yours. Even just staying home, I have a lot more time for this kind of stuff. My husband's lifestyle, a lot goes into this. So if you're not like me, if you're not like on the journey to getting fit or whatever, that's okay. Like, please don't compare yourself to me in a negative way. I hope this video can just be like inspiring, at the very least. So, okay, all that being said, where I kind of started out was 3 years ago. I had my second son, and I had like someone DM me on Instagram after I posted a selfie, and they were like, ooh, baby number 3 on the way. And I was like, no. What you're seeing is a postpartum pooch, and I'm not going to have more kids right now. At the time, like, we weren't sure what we wanted to do with family planning, like if we were gonna have more kids or not. But all I knew was that I wanted to get strong. I wanted to have energy again. When I was on bed rest with my second son's pregnancy, I really just wanted to be strong again. I wanted to work out. I really missed like the hard like hikes and walking. I missed, I feel like people who've been on bed rest or something similar understand this. Like, you just don't take your health for granted as much after. And even though working out is really hard and it kind of like isn't the most fun thing in the world, when you can't work out or you're forbidden because of like health reasons, you just start to crave it and you really miss it and you don't take it for granted again. So that's kind of what my mindset was 3 years ago. I was really weak. Watch my other postpartum fitness video. That gives you kind of the beginning. So that was like 1.5 years ago I made that video, maybe 2 years. I talk about my diastasis recti routine and kind of how I got from like mommy pooch to a stronger core. But basically I wanted to get back into fighting shape. Like my boys, I've had to carry them both a lot. Like I have to keep up with them. I have to, be my most functional self as a mom. And in order to get there, I wanted to be stronger. But this stuff does not happen overnight, especially if you don't start from, like, some moms get like right back into shape after giving birth. A lot of the times that's because they were already in shape. Like, yeah, they were pregnant, but they had like the muscles, they had like the cardio, they had the conditioning even. But some of us don't start out like that. So I had to start small. I had to lose weight. I had to learn how to diet while also managing parenting and all of that. And then I had to learn how to fit in fitness and workouts while also momming. And I am happy to say I do feel like I figured something out. So starting with fitness, my goal in the last 1.5 years was body recomposition. So I had lost like a lot of the fat from my pregnancies. And so I was like around 145 pounds and I'm 5'8". So my BMI is like right in the smack center of average. Like I'm not overweight, I'm not underweight, I'm right where I should have been. But I wasn't liking how my clothes were fitting me. And so I went on a fitness journey to do some body recomposition. I wanted to rebuild muscle and I wanted to lose more body fat percentage. And essentially I did that. And the funny thing is I am still 145 pounds, except my clothes, my pants are like 2 sizes too big. I can fit into clothes from before baby. I've lost like a lot of fat, but because I've gained muscle, I still weigh the same. So just know too, like when you're going on a fitness journey, the scale does not mean everything. Even BMI doesn't mean everything. It's more about like body composition. So how did I do that? First, fitness. So you can't spot treat certain areas, but you can target the muscles beneath. So if you ever see like a mama pooch, I had one, people will say, oh, you can't just do sit-ups and get rid of the mom pooch, like it's fat. Yes and no. You can have fat in your postpartum belly, but you can also have weak muscles that cause it to expand out, which is what I had with a little bit of fat too. So tightening those pooch muscles and getting my core back, I have more of like a tighter core now. And I did that by following a diastasis recti routine, but also heavy weight lifting once it was safe to do so. So I had minor diastasis recti and I wanted to like really nurture and protect that, because if you work out too heavy or too intensely with separated abs, you can actually make it worse. So first I addressed the pelvic floor therapy of it all, the diastasis recti. Watch my other video for an in-depth detailed explanation of that. But since then, I've gotten into fitness. So I think when you're approaching fitness, you have to think, what is your goals? Like, do you want strength? Do you want to be thin, slender? Do you want to just tone up? Do you want to gain mass? Do you want to lose mass? And for me, I wanted to do body recomposition. So I wanted stronger glute muscles, a tighter core, and I didn't want to like bulk up my arms too much, but I wanted to lose body fat. So essentially with fitness, I wanted to add it into my life so I could get more muscle mass, because when you have more muscle mass, you can eat more, and your girl loves to eat. Like I have a big appetite. And what I was finding with first losing fat just through walking and not really gaining muscle, I had to keep my diet really like low. Like I couldn't eat that much because I didn't have a ton of muscles. So with my fitness journey, I wanted to gain lean muscle mass on my arms and legs and really strengthen my glutes and core because I had some lower back pain. So First, yes, I did walking. That's really easy too when your babies are little. You can just put them in the stroller and just walk. Also, I had it a bit easier because I live in a very walkable city, which is kind of rare for North America. Walking is the best thing for losing weight. It's low effort, so it doesn't take a lot of mental stamina to do it. You can distract yourself with music or podcast. The downside with it is the time. Walking takes a lot of time, so it's really great, especially if you're just starting out your fitness journey. But if you want to crank things up a notch, you can do what I did, which is get into running. I used to be a runner, like in sports and stuff, and when I was really like a lot younger, I was like 400-meter race, like track and field. And I do like running. It's hard, and it's hard on your like joints, and I also have scoliosis, so I need to be careful. But I just kind of got into this space where I wanted to be able to like run and not be out of breath. I wanted to like have it so I could like run and chase my kids. I had this like epiphany. I shared this story in a vlog where I had to run through the Atlanta airport to catch a flight, and I had all my bags and I had to run, and I just started my running journey, but I was like, I can do this. And I ran through the airport and I caught the flight. I was the last person on before they closed the doors. It was because I had like a layover that was really short, but I ran through the airport, and ever since then, that was a year and a half ago, I was like, I'm gonna do this. And no, it hasn't been crazy. At most, I've run 3 miles. Usually it's 1 to 2 miles. And I'll run it at a very steady pace. It's not about time for me. It's just about getting those miles in. So I run outside with the dog, but I've also run inside. We got a secondhand treadmill for me, and I will pop on like Winx Club or a show or something, a YouTuber, and I will run. And it takes, if you want to just run a basic mile, like kind of slow, 1 mile is 10 minutes. You know, you can push yourself, but like 1 mile is 10 minutes. That's always what I tell myself. And I can just go outside. 10 minutes is going to pass whether or not I'm running. So I might as well get some exercise in. And it's really nice because our treadmill is at home. So after the kids go to bed, I will usually run a mile. And I kind of do that every other day or twice a week. Like I've gone in and out. Like when we had pneumonia for a month in November, I kind of like had to stop running because my lungs were not doing well. But since then I've gotten back into it. So, but the important thing to know when you're getting into fitness, running made me really hungry because you're burning so much energy. And so sometimes if you add a ton of working out and you're not watching your diet, you'll notice that you're not really losing weight. Maybe you're gaining muscle, maybe your conditioning is better, but you're not losing weight. So what I had to do when I got into running was to make sure, even though it's great high calorie burn, that I wasn't like overeating then to replenish all of those calories. So running. I'll leave a link for my best shoe recommendation. Shoes have come such a long way since I was a runner in high school. Shoes now are like, they're like clouds. You can run on a cloud, and it helps your joints. It helps you run like a lot longer. It's a lot easier. And once I got some nice Asics, it was like, oh my goodness, running is so easy. And I've run in Hawaii when we went there. I love to run on vacation. I love to run around here. I will say PSA, don't run by yourself unprotected, especially on country roads or anywhere shady. Running is very dangerous for women out in public, which is kind of why I'm a proponent for the treadmill, because then you can be like safe and protected. And I know it's not as fun, but some like hack I like to do is to put up these running videos where it's like someone running in a really cool location, like New Zealand, and it like is the runner's POV in front of you on the treadmill. So I encourage you guys, the great outdoors is wonderful, but also keep your safety in mind if you consider running. So I've been running for about a year and a half, and I just feel so strong. Like, you know how we like to go skiing out west every year? I used to be like, like after the first day of skiing, like so sore, so broken. After getting into running, like I ski that first day and I can keep going. Like it's the best. The conditioning really, really helps you. Even just for parenting in general and going up and down the stairs all day, running. The next thing though, this is something I've done in the last 6 to 8 months, and I've always lifted weights inconsistently, but in the last 6 months, I've done it consistently. This is the biggest change. Now, I'm spoiled. My husband is a gym rat, and he has a full gym with all the weights we could ever need. So I honestly just had to go out there and kind of like choose what I wanted to do, and I've created a workout for myself. I just did it yesterday, so I'll just explain right now what I do with lifting weights, because I know lifting weights can be really intimidating. So I do dumbbell workouts. First, most important one that has made the biggest change in my body is resting dead lifts. This is with 2 dumbbells, and you raise them up and put them back down. And I used to only be able to do 30 pounds per hand. And now I can do 60 pounds per hand. And RDLs are great too, because it gets your arms, because you have to like lift the weight, even though it's more for like your glutes and stuff. RDLs still like challenge your strength of like your upper body strength, which is kind of why I like dumbbell workouts, because it's kind of like a whole body thing no matter what workout you're doing. RDLs gave me my glutes back. It's a little uncouth and weird to be talking about my glutes online, so I'm not going to be talking for a long time, but suffice it to say, I went from pancakes after pregnancy, because the way pregnancy shifts how like things are pulling on your body and how you hold your weight, like you can lose your glutes. Like pancake bum is a thing after pregnancy, but you can get your bum back. And it's also nice because it can give you so much less back pain if you strengthen your glutes and your hamstrings. So RDLs are my number one focus. They've made the biggest difference. So, and then after that, I like a forward lunge, very simple, but a weighted lunge. I know a lot of women's workouts are like unweighted workouts. So just like weightless squats, body weight lunges, that kind of stuff. And Pilates even, which Pilates is very hard, you know, and I do like Pilates occasionally, but I've noticed the biggest transformation with doing weighted workouts, because you're straining your body either way. So when you add like a lot of weight, it can kind of give you bigger results faster. Which is what I found. I did Pilates for like the first year and a half of my fitness journey, didn't see that big of a difference. Started doing weightlifting, huge difference. So I also do forward lunges and backward lunges. Backward lunges really also work your glutes. They kind of target your glutes. Forward lunges obviously for leg day. I have big quads naturally, so I don't really want to like work that out too intensely. That's something you guys need to think about when you're doing fitness. Like, how do you naturally like gain muscle? And what areas are weaker? So my arms are kind of weaker, so I need to do more with that, and they won't bulk up as much as like if I were to focus on quads, they would be huge. I mean, maybe you want that. So just like focus on your body type, not necessarily other people's body types who are giving you advice. Squats, just a general squat. I do a dumbbell between my legs and I squat. I do shoulder presses, so up, and that's only like 15 pounds per hand. I'm very weak in the upper arms. And then chest press, which is more like 30 pounds per hand. You have to like lie back on what are they called? Weightlifting bench? I don't remember what they're called. Workout bench. And you do chest press dumbbells. Bicep curls, same thing. My goal is to do 25 pounds in each arm, because my son is 40 pounds and I'd love to be able to easily lift 50 pounds. And then after that, we have, flies, which is like using weights like this, and then you kind of like go like this. It like works your shoulders. Leg lifts, which is when you lay down and you lift your legs up, it works your lower abs, which is great for postpartum, especially C-section mamas. That's how I got my lower belly all tight and strong again. And then Bulgarian split squats, which is having one leg up on a weightlifting bench. You lunge forward and you squat. It sounds so easy, but it is the hardest thing ever. People, like gym rats, know. And then finally hip thrust, which is where you put a bar over your hip bones with like weights on the end and you thrust up. That's so easy. Like if you're built like me and you have glutes and thighs and strong hamstrings, those workouts are really easy. There's a lot of other weightlifting things you can do. When I had a gym membership last spring, but once we kind of moved here and got our personal gym set up, I started working out here. But when I had a gym membership, I used a lot of their machines and it was awesome. So if you don't have like a at-home weighted like dumbbell set, having a gym membership can honestly be so worth it. It depends how much money you're paying per month, but I absolutely would. If I didn't have a home gym, I would totally have a gym membership. Especially like their pulley machines. I miss using those. Pulley machines are great. You can do like where you hook the pulley machine to your ankle and you can do weighted like back leg lifts. So in general, just like I learned all this stuff kind of through my husband, but also through following fitness influencers online. There's a million of them. I would say try to steer away from people overly focusing on selling you courses or shakes or supplements and people who really just demonstrate the workouts. That's kind of all you need. You just need people to demonstrate workouts for you. You don't need all like the extra stuff, which is something I kind of wanted to say too. I will run in jeans. Like, I will work out in rain boots. Like, I don't have like a special set of clothes for working out. Like, my sports bra is like a wired underwire bra with like a Walmart cotton like sports bra thing over top, and I wear every single combination of that, and it keeps me in place, and I didn't have to spend $120 on like a sports bra. Like, if that stuff really helps you, go for it. But for me, it was kind of like, oh, this financial burden of working out because I have to buy all this clothes and stuff. Like, I made sure I ran for almost a year before I bought my really nice running shoes. I think it's good to try to make these things a habit before you invest a ton of money into it, because then also you might see like, oh, I'm not a Pilates girl, I'm a weightlifting girl, or I'm not a weightlifting girl, I like to jog or whatever. You know, you'll kind of figure out what you like to do, which kind of brings me to my next point about working out. You have to like have a mindset where it's like a positive or neutral thing. Like, don't do workouts that you absolutely hate. Working out should be like an endorphin releaser. It should be something that you like enough to incorporate into your routine, or you like the results enough to incorporate into your routine. And what I've learned with my fitness journey and the running and everything, if something's not sustainable, I'm not going to do it. So I have to kind of like enjoy myself on some level, which is why I'll pair running with like a TV show, or I will like work out when I'm feeling it. So I don't work out at the crack of dawn. I don't work out every single day. Like, I think it's so much more important to be sustainable long term than it is to just hit the ground running for like 30 days. I know there's a lot of challenges where it's like, for 1 month, like couch to 5K, like that kind of stuff can be really motivating for people, where it's like 75 hard. I don't even know these names, but it's like a burst of activity for a while to get to a certain goal. And I feel like those things keep you on like a weird cycle of like doing it, accomplishing it, and then pulling back a bit because it was exhausting, and then doing something else and then pulling back. So for me, I found it better to kind of have something like a little lower key, but I do it regularly. So I'll run regularly. It's not every day, but it's regularly. Same with the lifting weights. It's like 2 to 3 times a week. It's not every day. And I'll take breaks too. So I think it's important to, as women, to acknowledge like your hormonal cycle. So when you're feeling luteal, if you know what that is, that's like the week before your period. Maybe you're PMSing, maybe you're like super hungry and you're just tired or whatever. Rest. Like, listening to your hormonal cycle also helps working out like not be such a burden, because you won't be like torturing yourself. And so I think taking a joyful mindset into this is like the most important thing. Like, we're not working out because we hate ourselves. We're not working out to punish ourselves. We're not working out because we like hate the way we look. We're working out to like get stronger. We're working out and we're seeing results and we're proud of ourselves, and it's an accomplishment thing and productivity thing. It's not a punishment. And I think people who have like maybe have a weird relationship with working out, like the mental stuff might be the hardest part for you. And I do understand that. I was kind of like a self-hating teenager, and it's like working out because I hate like the way I look or whatever. I want to look like her, blah, blah, blah. I think there's like a certain measure of self-acceptance that has to go in with working out too. So you can kind of like be proud of yourself and appreciate like how far you've come. And then also just know too, it's okay to take breaks. I had to take a break when we had pneumonia for a month. And you know what was great? I didn't lose all my progress. I didn't. I went back into working out, and I didn't let it derail me for life, but I had my break so I could recover from my illness. So I think like not making it a weird addiction is also really important, because then when you enter seasons of life where it's not feasible, it's not like, oh, like if I don't work out, I'm gonna like turn hideous in 2 days, you know? Like, that's when the workouts kind of own you. Like, you need to own the workouts. Like, fitness is there to serve you, not you to serve fitness. So yeah, the mindset, I do find setting challenges and goals can really help you. So like for me, weightlifting is really great because you're like, you see the number on the weights and you can get stronger over time. But also know like there's a lot of workout options. So when I say fitness, I've done a lot of different things: biking, running, walking, hiking, like cardio stuff. I've done at-home Pilates, I've done at-home workout videos, I've done weightlifting. And from there, I've kind of found my favorite grouping of things to do. So it's going to look differently for you than it will for me. I've said that in so many of my YouTube videos, but it really is true. Not only do we have different bodies, but we have different lifestyles, which does bring me to the fitness part of this video, which is, as moms, you do have less time than like a homemaker without kids. Obviously, like it's like a season of life thing. So notice too, I didn't like really get hardcore into keeping it as part of my routine until my sons were a little bit older. Because I just didn't put pressure on myself as a newborn or baby mom. Not baby mama, but like I was a mom to two babies. I didn't put pressure on myself to like figure this out. Like I had to rest and like recuperate. My other video kind of goes into more detail about what that looked like. But these things don't have to be a short-term thing, like a 2-month process or even a 6-month process. You know, fitness should be like a lifelong lifestyle shift, not just like, oh, I'm gonna get into really good shape and then I'm done. Like that's not how it works. You have to maintain your good shape. So finding a lifestyle that you can maintain that works for you is like the best thing you can do, because then when you're 45, you can still be fit, be active, because you didn't just like crash and burn a ton of times. So as far as finding time, I do a lot of this after the kids go to bed, which is why having the dumbbells at home is life-changing. The treadmill too. Even if I just want to walk, I can get steps in. But when I have to fit in with kids, I do not lift weights around them. I find it too dangerous, but I've never been against doing body weight workouts around them. So push-ups, leg lifts, Pilates type stuff, they'll get involved with you. Kids get really interested in that kind of stuff. I follow an influencer named Gretchen Greer, and she shows a lot how she'll do dancing or Pilates or yoga around her kids. And like they like to climb on her yoga mat, but she fits in her self-care. And if you've seen my marriage videos, you guys know that self-care is a huge component to a happy marriage, in my opinion, where you can have things going for yourself. You're feeling vibrant and you're achieving things and feeling good about yourself, and that all of that joy just pours back into your marriage. So I'm kind of lucky because my husband's a gym rat, so he totally gets it. He supports working out. But again, we don't like make this a super consuming thing. So I'll be in the gym for like 30 minutes and I'll do my dumbbell routine maybe 40 minutes. And sometimes I'll do that when he's with the kids, but other times we all have family time and I'll do it when they go to bed or when they're taking a nap, you know? So trying to have a mindset where maybe other things do take more of a back seat. Like you guys know me and the laundry struggle. I will choose to work out over doing laundry. Like as long as we all have clean socks and underwear and clothes for the day, like I will put my health as a priority because it just makes me feel so much happier, especially in the winter months. The postpartum vibes can get so dark, and like burning some energy off really helps you rebuild energy, which is like, it doesn't make any sense like when you think about it, because sometimes you're so tired, you're like, I can't imagine working out, but then working out gives you more energy, and that's what I love most about it. And that's kind of why I incorporated running into my workouts, was because cardio and like working your lungs where you can just get that oxygen flowing, it can give you so much more energy. And then you'll have more energy when you wake up in the morning. You'll sleep harder too. So yeah, so running and lifting weights is probably my biggest differences. And so I love following real people, especially people who have like, even on YouTube, like they've lost like a significant amount of weight through working out and like a healthier lifestyle. So I used to kind of be a bigger believer that like all you had to do was walk and eat super nutritious food and eat in a calorie deficit and you'd lose weight. And it's true, like that had worked for me, but I didn't like eating in a calorie deficit or like a low calorie amount, which is why I started incorporating weightlifting, because when you have more muscles on your body, you can eat more, because people with more muscles burn more calories just by existing and living life. So you can eat more, which then I'm not as hungry, and then I'm not overeating, and then I'm not gaining a ton of weight and then feeling sluggish, and it's this whole cycle. So that does kind of lead us into the topic of diet. diet. So what have I done differently in the past year and a half? I have eaten less food. Yeah. I feel like this part of the video might be a little bit, I don't want to say the word offensive, but like, I get nervous talking about this stuff, honestly, because people are so cagey and weird, and I think that's why a lot of people hide what they eat, how much they eat online, because of the criticism. Like, even, I will get criticism for, like, I used to get criticism when I'd show my food, like, you're eating eggs, the vegans would send me, like, dead chicken emojis, or you're eating, like, store-bought bread, or I used seed oil one time in a bread recipe in a vlog, and all the crunchy people were down my throat about how unhealthy it was, right? So I just kind of started to not share. But in this video, I will share, I will be honest, and the crux of the issue, and I have shared this before, which is calories in, calories out. You eat less if you want to lose weight, and that can be really hard, especially if you're working out. So there's some caveats to this, because you need to eat enough to fuel your workouts. Like, you won't be able to lift the 120-pound resting deadlift if you're not, like, satiated with your food. Like, you need energy to burn to even do the workouts to build the muscle. So it's really, like, important here to make sure you're getting enough protein. I talked about this in how I grew my hair to my hips video, but protein is the game changer. So eating more protein will help you feel more full, which will actually help you eat a little bit less, but it will also fuel your workouts and help you build muscle better. And this is not like new information. This is just basic like fitness and like diet and fitness advice. So upping my protein helped a lot. I already ate a lot of protein, like eggs and whole milk, meats, but I started kind of looking at the labels more of things and including like super high protein yogurts, or eating like bread that has some protein in it. Just like including more protein options has had me eating less like carbohydrates. But you do need carbohydrates to have energy, so I do eat carbohydrates, and that's kind of why I don't like talking about my diet that much online. It's because I just eat like kind of what I want to. But the biggest thing is that I know how many calories are in most things, and so I can kind of tell, like, especially in my luteal phase, I'll get like, oh, I'm insatiable, like I could eat everything. So I really try to up protein then, because I'm going to be eating a lot either way. Like, let's get some protein, hopefully I'll feel fuller, and usually that does work. But again, just like with fitness, you have to kind of find a diet that you can stick to. So some people like can really stick to carnivore or keto or vegetarian or whatever. And so where I've kind of landed is I eat kind of how I used to, but now that we're not in like a fertility focused time in our life, I also eat things that are a little controversial, like Diet Coke, like 0-calorie treats. And that is probably the thing that's made the biggest difference. Like, you guys really started asking and bugging me about what I did to like look so good, probably starting like last summer, especially in my vlogs. Like, what have you changed? Like, blah, blah, blah. I really upped the 0-calorie treats, because then I wasn't munching and grazing on random stuff. Your girl likes to eat. I've always been like that, like since I was a chunky, cute little baby. And I've found like having more teas, not like the teas that make you like, not like the teas that are basically a laxative, but just like having tea, having black coffee, Diet Coke, 0-calorie jellies, cognac jelly, that kind of stuff. I can link the cognac jelly below. But just little treats, and it helps a lot, especially like late at night when you just want like one more snack before bed. Now I'll have a cognac jelly, which is like a 10-calorie thing instead of like a 100 or 200 calorie bowl of cereal, you know, and those calories all added up really do make a big difference. So yeah, the crunchy, my subscribers who are darling and crunchy, you're not gonna like that. The Diet Coke consumption happens here, Gatorade Zero. I'm not a crunchy person. You're all welcome here. And I do know the benefits, and I've lived out the benefits. Like, I got my fertility back by doing high protein, natural, traditional foods, and I still eat a lot of that, but I have paid more attention since I decided I wanted to lose, like, have a lower body fat percentage. Like, like not having as much butter, like that kind of stuff. Like that stuff that's super nutritious for you is really good when you're in a fertility season. And honestly, post baby, I ate a lot of that stuff too because I had to get back like my vitality and nutrition. But now that I'm in a stage of life where I was trying to like lower my body fat percentage, I switched from like a mindset of focus like solely on nutrient dense stuff to also low calorie options, so I could slim down, and it helped a lot. So that's kind of like, that's like the embarrassing, shameful truth, but it's the reality. And I know a ton of influencers do it too. Like some of them are on Ozempic, but a lot of them are just pounding the black coffee and the Diet Coke, and like that is why they are the way they are. So high calorie health items are also something I cut out. So like granolas, oatmeals, muffins, like just because something is like labeled healthy, or like sourdough bread. I know that's like a huge craze, is like sourdough bread. Part of the reason I don't have sourdough starter in my home is because I don't want daily bread to be part of my lifestyle. I think like we all have different priorities, right? Like some people struggle with gut health and you need to get your health back, or fertility, or you're worried about illness or whatever. You're going to have different nutrition focuses, right? Right in this stage of life, I wanted to have a lower body fat percentage. So I utilize low calorie options, even just like salads, like basic old fashioned diet techniques. Salads, low calorie snacks, more yogurts, avoiding like nuts are super high calorie, so I don't eat nuts very often. I don't drink. I'll have like a glass of something on special occasions, but I don't drink alcohol. I had to also cut back on milk. You guys know I love whole milk. I had to cut back on it, but I have skim milk in my lattes. Like the classic girly Barbie dieting stuff works for me, and I'm not gonna hide the truth. Because I think you guys deserve intellectual honesty, and a lot of people hide how they lose weight online. So that's how I utilize low calorie options, but I also do things like volume eating. So you can eat a lot of salad. You can eat a bunch of cucumber and fruits, and I don't limit myself with fruits and vegetables, and that's also helped a lot. Like every day I consume a ton of fruit and vegetables, and I don't put a limit on that stuff. I eat as much as I need and want, and that's also kept me fuller longer. I've naturally, I still eat meat. I don't eat it every day though. I'm naturally not like a very meat focused person at this stage in my life. Like I still like protein, but I'll choose a yogurt over like meat. Especially because preparing some of those foods can be really intense and like time consuming. So I find like having easy accessible options, especially now that I'm a mom, has made things a lot easier. Also watching out for sauces and spreads. Things like sauces, like ranch. Girls, ranch is like, you could have a whole bagel for what you could have like 3 or 4 tablespoons of ranch. Like knowing that kind of stuff really helps you navigate the dieting world. So yeah, I basically eat less than I used to, and I burn more calories, but I don't feel hungry because I use my low calorie like options, and I also try to like map out my day. So what happens is I get like really, really hungry at like 11 a.m. And then I'm like really tempted to eat all the stuff I love to eat. Like I would eat eggs, and then I'd eat an English muffin, and then I'd have something with peanut butter on it, and then I would eat like some fruit. So what I do instead is I'll eat the first thing, like the English muffin with the egg, and then I'll take some time before I eat the next thing. And I feel like when you're a stay-at-home mom, it can be kind of hard because like you're always by the kitchen. Like you're not at work, you're not separated from your food, you're always by the kitchen, so the food's always there. And if you have an issue with overeating, it can be really tempting. And so what I do is I eat what I want, but then I like say, oh, I'll have that banana and that peanut butter or whatever, but I'm gonna have it in an hour or two. And what that does is it lets the food settle in my belly and kind of like be like, oh, I do feel satisfied. And then I can like have what I wanted. Like instead of having everything for breakfast, I can have half of it for breakfast, and then I'll have some of it for lunch and snack, and then I'm just generally eating less in the day because I'm not just packing in everything at breakfast, because your girl likes to eat frequently throughout the day. So I just wake up and I know I'm gonna probably eat all these different foods today, but the key is I'm not gonna eat it all at once in the beginning. I'm gonna spread it out, and having that mentality can be really helpful. Another piece of advice is to not diet forever. Try to maintain for a while. Dieting forever can really lead to burnout. You can't like starve yourself. That's another important thing. I don't starve myself. I do follow my appetite. So some days I'm like hungrier than others, especially based on my hormones. So I eat a lot more when I'm luteal than I do like the week after my period. My appetite's not really there, and I just kind of coast along and take advantage of it, you know? I've also noticed that my mentality, I always tend to lose weight on vacation. And I've known that about myself for about 10 years. Like when I went on a study abroad for a month, I lost weight. And when I go on vacation, I lose weight. And it's because I'm busy and I'm really engaged and I'm not like focused on food. So one of my dieting techniques has been like, if I know I'm not hungry, I'm just kind of bored or like, you know, trying to keep my mouth busy, I'll keep my hands busy, or I'll go work out, or I'll go for a walk, or just try to do things that don't center around food so much. So play dates and dates with my husband, like not always centering the activity around sitting down and consuming food, even though I think that's an important part of being a human and living in a culture is breaking bread with other people. So I don't limit myself when it is time to break bread with people, but I just make sure I spend less time breaking bread by myself, if that makes sense. I love the Asian, like Korean mindset around food that you see. Like if you're a K-drama stan like me, they're always like eating together. Like that's part of the culture. And I think adopting that has really helped me a lot too, where I'm not in a corner like eating my snack. I'm waiting until the communal meal and then I'm eating along with everybody else. And that helps a lot, you know. It also helps you not like consume things in secret and, you know, get into this weird binging mentality where you're just like insatiable, you know. So kind of opening up my food habits with other people, breaking bread with my family instead of by myself. But then also when it's time for dates or play dates, it's like, hey, let's go for a walk, let's go to the beach. Like it's not always about the food. Which food is great. It's a blessing and it's not a curse. And I don't want to promote like a negative relationship with food, which is part of the reason I've not wanted to make the video, because it's like I don't want to trigger anybody or make you guys worried about me. Like I'm fine. I'm not like avoiding my hunger cues. I'm not starving myself. Like I'm still fueling myself. It's just I had a lot of little habits where I'd reach for more cookies or more sugar because I have that sweet tooth, and I'd reach for cake or I'd do all these things instead of kind of like addressing the issue, which is you need more protein, you need to burn more energy, have a Diet Coke instead. Like that has really helped get me out of like those like little snacky things, or choosing fruits and vegetables over like cake, that kind of stuff. So basically I eat less. I've stopped fixating it on it so much, but I'm also not in a baby making phase. If we decided tomorrow, hey, we want to have another baby, I would change my eating habits. I would knock it off with the black coffee and the Diet Coke, and I would make sure I'm eating more cheese, and I am eating steak every day. Like you have to understand we're gonna have different approaches depending on where we are in life. And your age too, like all of that, like how many calories you burn, how tall are you? I'm 5'8", so I can eat more food and stay slim than like a 5-foot woman. And I think that's really like, that's another part of this. You have to like customize this to your own like personal life and how God made you. Finally, I just want to kind of touch on like some smaller areas. So there's fitness, there's diet, but then sleep and rest. Sleep and rest, girlfriends. To the mamas who are like, yeah, she's 3 and she still wakes up 3 times a night. I'm sorry, but I feel like your priority should be resting as much as possible. Save the diet and working out for when you're getting sleep. I absolutely would not approach diet and fitness, and I didn't approach diet and fitness. Like I ate nutritionally dense, but I didn't try to like slim down until I was getting a consistent 8 hours of sleep a night without waking up with kids. Like they still wake up sometimes, but it's super rare, and so I'm getting a lot of good sleep. When you're working out a lot, you need proper rest. So taking rest days, resting your muscles, not overexerting yourself, because you also want to avoid injury, because injuring yourself can really set you back. It can stop you. Like I actually strained a glute muscle after my summer vlog. I strained a glute muscle in one of my workouts, and I had a big bruise, and it was injured, and I had to like rest that muscle for, I think I tore it. So I rested it for like 5 weeks. Before I went back to doing my weightlifting. And so you have to be careful to not injure yourself. So doing proper stretching. And also I I said this so many times, but working out around your hormonal cycle, so you're naturally taking more rest when you're luteal. You're naturally sleeping more, like the day or two before your period. Maybe you skip the workout and you don't diet like hardcore. That type of stuff gives you the sustainability to keep going. So resting, I even think napping can be really helpful, stretching, but just incorporating rest can really keep you going. And obviously there's a difference between rest and being a lazy potato. And you have to kind of figure that out for yourself. I think deep down we all know when we're being a lazy potato and when we are just genuinely resting, but I also think some people are genuinely uncomfortable with rest. They feel guilty for resting. They feel like they always need to be productive or busy. And if that's you, I highly encourage you to look to scripture and read about the Sabbath and read about how God promotes rest. That can really encourage you to just put down the housework for a day, put down the hardcore perfectionism and working out and all this stuff, and just rest. It's really good, even just for your mental and emotional health when you're going on a journey like fitness and working out. Resting can give you the energy you need to conquer that workout next week. Because you can even rest for longer than a day. You can rest for a whole week. I rested for the month of November while I healed from pneumonia, and it was amazing. Finally, just some little tricks and tips that I've learned, maybe through putting myself out there online. I have to look at myself when I film these and edit them, so I really spend a lot of time looking at myself, and I figured out some things like just slimming kind of things that have helped me like look glowy, trim, and fit. So self-tanner, if you're a cellulite girly like me, which I have cellulite in the back of my legs, and like some self-tanner for the shorts that you want to wear to the beach or whatever can make a big difference. So just like a glowy self-tan, it's been known to really help you look more slim and trim. I really like self-tanner, but also face massage. I've talked about this a lot. A few of you have requested like a step-by-step tutorial, which I can do, but they're not my techniques. They're techniques from someone named Anastasia, and she has an Instagram called Anastasia Beauty Fascia, and they're her techniques. So I don't necessarily really want to give a tutorial because I did not come up with these things. But following her facial maneuvering techniques, I've helped carve out a bit of my double chin. You guys know I used to always put my phone kind of lower than my face to make my videos, and I have like volume in my face. So facial massage, also for the masseter muscles, the temples, and just moving that puffy lymphatic fluid through my lymphatic system. So draining your face of the puff. I think like people underestimate the power of face massage, but I've always encouraged face massage because before Anastasia, there was some other girl, I think her name was Olga, and she had a YouTube channel where she would go over face massage. And especially for the round face girlies like me, face massage can really just help things flow. And I also have rheumatology issues and what is it called? Autoimmune. I have an autoimmune like thing going on with my circulation. So doing face massage and like massaging like your armpits and that area, getting like the flow in my ankles. I can sometimes struggle with cankles. So massaging like the fluid through there. Basically, I just have a hard time with like fluid going around my body. And I'm also like long limbed too. So there's a lot of like tight spaces the fluid has to go. So massage is like a big thing, and you know, you can do it in the bath. You can stand in the shower and like cup your armpits, do that kind of stuff. Just like get that fluid draining going. That being said, my facial changes is not exclusively through face massage. It is also because I've gotten older. My husband, like, I used to be younger and kind of be like, oh, I don't want to like get older, because I think I let that programming about the wall turning 30 kind of get to me. And he told me, he's like, 30-year-old women are beautiful. I don't know what your problem is. Like, they look amazing. And I realized, yeah, some of the like most beautiful actresses, like Ana de Armas and the girl from Barbie, what's her name? Margot Robbie. Those women are in their 30s, and I think the benefit of being in your 30s is like your face can finally slim out and you look more like a mature woman. So I think part of my facial changes is getting older. Actually, I saw a comment on my Get Ready With Me for a Wedding video, and someone was like, oh, I haven't watched her in years. Did she get work done? Either way, I'm glad she's doing well. And I was like, oh, plastic surgery allegations? Wow, something must be working. And it's getting to a lower body fat percentage. It's face massage, and it's also getting older. So I have gotten older, so like my face is thinned out a bit. I don't have as much baby fat. So don't be hard on yourself. If you're 20, your face is gonna look a lot different than when you're 30. And that's not like a bad thing. So getting older, and then also posture. Posture is huge. I am like hunchy, because you know when you have boobs, you kind of like do this because you want to hide them. And when you're tall too. So opening up and being like, yes, God made me a woman. I have a chest. God made me a woman. Not being afraid of it. And working out and weightlifting has gotten me more confident with just standing up straight. I became hunchy after having kids too, because like, oh, heavy belly, you're all like hunched forward. So weightlifting, strengthening my back muscles, strengthening my core has given me better posture too. But that's like a huge element of like why I think I look better, and I look better in clothes. And even as a scoliosis, like represent the scoliosis, having good posture isn't just for people with straight spines. Like if anything, having scoliosis means you should like have a really good posture. So posture is like a huge thing that can really like instant glow up. Like you guys might underestimate it, but I feel like when people are like, what can I do to look better? Number one thing, pull those shoulders back. Like, it makes a huge difference. But also the correct form when you're working out. I didn't touch on this, but if you have bad posture and form when you're doing your weightlifting, you're gonna injure yourself, or you're gonna like work the wrong muscles. So really pay attention to form. WikiHow, Google Images, Pinterest, like basic, how do I do a Bulgarian split squat? Like don't just go to the gym with an idea in your mind. Like make sure you're doing these workouts properly. So that is all I have for you today. I'm looking out at a blue sunny like afternoon, and I really want to walk the dog. So I'm gonna say goodbye to you, but I did want to show you, like I'm not lying. This is tight. Okay. See? This is from chest press. I'm not gonna torture you and show you like all of my muscles, but I want to show you I have come a long way. Those are real. I'm not just like making things up. I have gotten stronger, and I hope you can find this stuff encouraging. I don't think that I'm like a model person to look up to, especially with like what I eat necessarily. Like I'm not here to encourage like mass consumption of Diet Coke, but I did want to be honest with you guys. And those tools, those sugar-free tools, have helped me a lot for that last like little chunk of baby weight. You know, it's been those tools that have helped me a lot. So yeah, I hope that was transparent enough. If you're interested in more of this kind of content, I have a couple other fitness related videos. Again, there are people who are in way better shape than me that honestly I would encourage you to check out their videos instead. But check out the description box below for some of the stuff I said I would link, and leave your post-baby fitness advice in the comments below. People do use the comment section as a forum, passing good advice to each other, so feel free to do that, and also leave a like on the video. It does help other people find my content, but in general, I hope you guys have a wonderfully blessed and fit week.